The weather in England is pathetic. It rained all night, it's rained all morning, and now it sounds like my windows are literally going to blow out. I've had enough. I need some sun. Who's got a spare room for me? Let me know in the comments below. Let's make it happen. In the meantime, I'm going to show you how to play a pretty cool lick in A blues. Let's go. So this is a cool little lick in the A blues scale that I came up with a few weeks ago now. It was just after I got my standing desk, and I did some improvising, recorded it and put it on Patreon. And there was one lick in there in the middle that kind of came out of nowhere, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to work on that and teach it to you guys. So here it is. As I mentioned earlier, this lick is going to be using the A blues scale, so let's take a look at that shape. Now what's cool about this lick is because it combines quite a few specialist techniques, hammer-ons, pull-offs and slides, it allows us to generate quite a bit of speed without having to pick every single note. So here's the first part. So you're going to start by pulling off the 7th fret of the G to the 5th fret, 3rd to 1st finger, and then 3rd finger on the root note in the middle, 7th fret of the D. Then we're going to hit the 4th fret of the B string and slide into the 5. Now you might be thinking, hang on a minute, that 4th fret of the B string isn't in the scale shape that you just showed me. And you're right, it's not. But it's the note E flat. And if you look at the 8th fret of the G string, it's the same note. It's that flat 5 interval, or the blues note. So this lick was born out of me trying new things, trying to break those old kind of patterns and habits. So I wanted to use the 4th fret of the B string the first time that I played the flat 5 and slide up a fret. Creates a different kind of sound and vibe. Now after you've played that slide, you're going to go back to the 7th fret of the G, pull off back to the 5, and then hit that 7 on the D string again, our root note. Now we've got this. So you're going to pick the 5th fret of the B string with the index finger, and then the 8th fret, and then pull that off back to the 5. So you pick twice and then pull off. Then come back to the 7th fret of the G, pull off back to 5. And then you're going to hit the 7th fret of the D, our root note again, and then flat bar the 5th fret of the G and the B with the index finger. And to finish, we've got this little run. So we're going to start this bit with our pinky on the 8th fret of the G string, and that's that E flat, flat 5 interval that we talked about before. And you're going to pull off that back to the 7, and then pull that off back to the 5. Then put the 3rd finger back on the 7, pull off back to 5. Down to the root note with the 3rd finger, 7th fret of the D. And then hammer that 5 back to 7 on the G, 3rd finger, and I grab the root note to finish with my 2nd finger. So those 3 separate parts together should go like this. It's pretty meaty, right? Now, I always do that, don't I? I've seen myself do it in the edits. Point, now. It's my little segue. Someone do a little cut down edit of me just doing that for 4 hours, please. Thanks. I'd love to watch that. Now, in terms of timing, it's 4/4, 2 bars, it's just a whole bunch of semiquavers hanging out and then a minim at the end. So if I just did like a percussive version, $120. That's straight, right? Now what you can do, it's the other part of the lesson I didn't tell you about because it's top secret. So if you made it this far, well done. You get a little sneaky surprise. Now let's play the whole thing with triplets. We have to shorten it a little bit because we won't get as much chance to play as many notes, but you can change the vibe of your licks by just changing the kind of delivery, right? By the way, I'm not radioactive, although my playing is pretty nuclear. I'm using Metro Timer here, and I'm scrubbing for the right tempo. I'm putting it up to 150 so that you can hear how triplets sound with the same lick. So again, there you can see it sounds really cool. We had to shorten it a little bit. I mean, you could carry on. Kind of trips over itself, doesn't it, at the end? But it's worthwhile practicing that. Get something down and then think, right, how could I play this slightly differently? And you end up creating new licks out of the same licks. And then you could change some of the notes, right? What about if we went... That was cool, different ending, still straight. Let's try one with triplets. Slightly different ending on that one as well. But both cool licks. What I want you to do is get them down and experiment. And then if you write your own licks, try changing the way that you play them. You could play them straight, triplets, swing, move them around the fretboard. Can you play the same lick that you wrote here in a different area of the fretboard? It's not as easy up there, but it sounds cool and it's worth practicing. That's it for me. Like I said, it's a quick one today, but I've got some other cool stuff coming up. Would you look at that? All that moaning about the weather. Only took one blues lick in A, brought the sunshine out. So I think we'll leave it there. If you need the tab, you know where to go. It's up there. Certain website, beginning with a P. Sounds like it's just Patreon. I couldn't think of anything to rhyme it with. But you can get it on there. I've written it out straight, triplets, guitar profile, whatever you need. Have fun with it. And if you do get it down, why not tag me on Instagram, Twitter? Does anyone still use Twitter? Elon Musk does. $3 billion worth. Whopper. But yeah, tag me on some socials and I'll share it. Put it on my story because it's a cool lick and I want to see you play it. All right, you've been exceptional. I'm going to throw my hat onto the camera now, okay? Don't flinch. See you soon.